All right, welcome everybody to the Tuesday night info session. Unfortunately, for some reason, my camera isn't working, so you're not going to be able to see me, but hopefully you should be able to see the slides. Can I just get a thumbs up if you can still see the slides okay? Yeah, awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Well, my name's Tully, and I'll just go to the next slide. Yeah, my name's Tully, for those of you that don't know me, and my background is in physiotherapy. So before I came across the Isagenix system and the company, I was working as a physio in private practice. And I was pretty healthy, to be honest, and enjoyed my job to a certain extent. I wasn't traveling as much as I would like, but from a health perspective, I was pretty healthy, pretty happy. I was training 5 times a week, eating well. That being said, I was relying on coffee to get through the day. I was having at least 1 or 2 coffees every single day because I needed it, not just because I enjoyed it. But I thought everybody else around me was doing the same thing. So I didn't think that was an issue. I just thought that's just the way it was. If you live a busy lifestyle, you get tired, and that's the way it was. So I wasn't particularly looking for anything when Isagenix came across my path. Rory Callahan, who's a physio as well, good mate of mine, we played footy together and studied together. And I'd seen him go through quite a big health transformation with the Isagenix system. He'd been struggling with energy and with his health for quite a while. And I saw him really turn things around with it. And he came to me and told me a bit about it. And he'd helped some patients lose weight and these kinds of things. And even though I wasn't looking for something for myself, I was always on the lookout for things that could help other people and help my clients and the people that I was working with. So I wasn't going to recommend anything that I hadn't tried myself. So jumped on board, and yeah, wasn't expecting much, to be honest, because like I said, I thought I was pretty healthy. So 2 weeks into using the system, I'd gone from 2 coffees a day to none. So I didn't really need any caffeine to get through the day. I was sleeping through the night. I didn't realize I was sleeping really poorly until I started to sleep well. And just started to put on lean muscle a lot easier and recover a lot better from workouts. And it just felt like I was coasting along at sort of 80%. And this helped me very easily get up to that sort of 95% in terms of my well-being and my vitality. And that's when it kind of clicked for me. And I realized if this system of products, which we're going to talk about in a second, if it can help an already healthy person really optimize things, imagine what it can do for all these people that I see that are struggling day in, day out. Yeah, and that was 4.5 years ago. I've been using the system ever since. I just literally finished a shake just then because I got a bit peckish and dinner's still going to be a couple of hours away. So still use the system every day. Love it. It's convenient. And yeah, it just allows me to have optimal well-being in a busy lifestyle. So I've gone on to share that, like it's a network marketing business model that Isagenix have chosen to use, which is basically a referral-based business. So I've gone on to share that with others. And that's gone on to impact over 5,000 people directly and indirectly, which I wouldn't have been able to do working one-on-one with people as a physio. So for me, that's a really cool thing as well, is the ability to have massive impact on people's health and well-being. And that's why I still rock up here every Tuesday, just to educate people on what the system can do and what the environment can do. And yeah, just pay it forward one person at a time. So with that being said, we'll rip into it. So before we get in and start talking about the products, I just want you to do a quick stock take. And does any of this sound familiar? And also, have a think about people in your life as well, people that you care about. Do you hear these people complaining of these things, of low energy levels, of struggling to lose weight, especially around that midsection, poor digestion, broken sleep, brain fog, cravings, all these things? All these things are so common, but just because they're common doesn't mean it's normal. All these things are actually just an indication that our system is out of balance. And a lot of the time, the root cause of that is nutrition. The fact that we're lacking things that I'm just seeing the chat pop up. So many people. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, find me somebody who doesn't. that's the harder thing to do. It's just our lifestyles don't support well-being. And there's three main things that really are driving that. The first is that are hard to escape. The first is soil depletion. So the facts are our topsoil is lacking nutrition, and the plants get the nutrition from the soil. If there's no nutrition in the soil, there's no nutrition in the plants. So even when we're doing all the right things, because like I said, I was doing the right things. I know a lot of people that do the right things that still struggle, and I'm sure you guys do as well. Because 95% of our building blocks, excuse me, that we need to function on a day-to-day basis, function optimally, 95% of that we get from our nutrition. So if our soil's depleted, then purely clean eating isn't going to cut it. It's going to be a good step for foundational wellness, and it's definitely a good first step, but supplementation for optimal well-being is necessary. The second thing is stress and cortisol. So pretty much everything we saw in that previous slide, if you Google effects of too much cortisol, you'll probably find most of those things on that list. Because the fact that we live in such a fast-paced environment affects our well-being as well. Because even if we're putting all the right stuff in, if our system is stressed, we're not going to process it very well. So bad things happen when there's too much cortisol around, hormonally. Just our body is in that fight or flight response, so it can't digest well when it can't get itself into that state of optimal well-being. So that's another factor that needs to be looked at. And then the last one is what's called xenoestrogens. I know it's a big word, but basically that's what are referred to as quote unquote toxins. So environmental estrogens impact our hormonal balance. So we're absorbing these through air, through water, through processed foods. Herbicides and pesticides is a big one. And what it does is our body registers these xenoestrogens as estrogen and throws our body out of whack. So most of the things on that previous slide, again, are just an indication that hormonally our body's out of whack. So the Isagenix solution, and the reason I touch on all of that is because Isagenix is not a weight loss program. I'm just going to get this up top here. People often think of it as a weight loss system, and it's just not. It's not what it was intended for. It was intended for a foundation for wellness. Will it help you lose weight if you need to lose weight? Yes. Because what it does is it brings our body back into a state of balance. And if our body is in a state of balance, it doesn't hold excess fat tissue. So Isagenix, what Isagenix actually means balance. So the master formulator, John Anderson, founded Isagenix back in 2002. This guy is an absolute lord. He's lived and worked in China for a long time, in India, and he's got a real strong background in Eastern philosophy and Eastern medicine and naturopathy. He's formulated over 2,000 products for 600 different companies before he formulated the Isagenix system. So most people in the industry that are formulators formulate around 5 to 6 products. So this guy is just he's the man. And what I really love about him as well is he's got a family history in organic farmers. So he grew up on organic farm. His grandfather was a farmer. So he's been sort of he's seen this transition over the last 50, 60 years of what's happened to our food and our soil. So he developed this system with 3 main pillars that match those 3 issues we were talking about just before. So the first is nutrition saturation. So fill in the gaps that we're just not getting nutritionally anymore. The second, help the body deal with stress, too much cortisol. And the third, help the body cleanse out impurities or these xenoestrogens. So how does it do that? The first, nutrition saturation. So the first way it does this is through the meal replacement isolane shakes, or I like to call them a super smoothie, because they're pretty much every time you see somebody post a picture of the superfood smoothie on Instagram that they're trying to get all the good stuff into their diet using a smoothie, this has what they're trying to get into it. And there's a dairy-free option. I've got the dairy-free option there because a lot of people are conscious of how many animal products they're consuming these days. So there is a dairy-free and a whey option. What I love about this is the first thing is that it tastes really good. So I still look forward to having at least 1, sometimes 2 of these every day. So again, it doesn't matter what works, it only matters what you can maintain. So if this system worked, but after 30 days, you were like, I never want to touch any of that stuff again, it's not really a sustainable solution. So the fact that it tastes good is really important. It keeps you full. I thought I was trying to put on weight when I started the system. So the thought of using a shake seemed quite ridiculous to me. But it's got a really good source of fiber, healthy fats, really good quality protein. So it actually keeps you a lot fuller than you think it's going to. And then it's also got those vitamins and trace minerals as well. It's got live enzymes, so it's actually a live food when you're consuming it, which is important for digestion. It's basically like the perfect meal that is easy and quick to make. So if you're worrying about getting 3, 4, 5 meals that are nutritionally balanced every day, it can do your head in a little bit. So to know you can have 1 or 2 of these to take the pressure off is really, really good and awesome to travel with as well. The other way we take care of that nutrition saturation is with the complete essentials and with Isagenix. So this has got a really good quality multivitamin, a supplement called Ageless Actives, which is, it's got CoQ10 and resveratrol in it, bunch of goodies, and then also Isagenix, which is just, to me, like the supplement to end all supplements. So have a more of a closer look into the ins and outs of that. But basically I have these every day and I notice the difference, especially with energy levels and mental clarity. And again, it's basically filling in those gaps so your body's getting everything it needs to function optimally. The second thing is helping the body handle stress. So the whole system is based around, it's not necessarily based around, but it's got these things called adaptogens in it. So adaptogens are plant extracts, and basically what they do is help the body deal with stress. So Chinese medicine and naturopathy, they've been using these herbs for a long time. The product that's got the most adaptogens in it is the Ionic Supreme. So this is my favorite product. I still use this every day. And a lot of people who use the system report better moods, better energy, better sleep. I put a lot of that down to this guy. So it helps the body balance stress and combat the cortisol response. But there's not just adaptogens in this product. There's also adaptogens in the Isagenix, like I mentioned before, and also the e-shots. And so the e-shots are a really good substitute if you do use coffee or you do need that caffeine to get through the day. It's a really good natural substitute for that because it's got the adaptogens in it. You don't get that caffeine peak. So you actually just get a nice sustained energy hit. So I use it as a pre-workout, or if I've just got a busy day, I might have one at sort of 12 or 1 p.m. and it just keeps me focused and keeps me going. And I just include it as part of wellbeing. I don't use this as a energy hit necessarily, even though it can be good for that if you're going to go for a surf or do some exercise. Because it's got the adaptogens in it, it's just really good to nourish our adrenals, whereas most caffeine-based drinks burn out your adrenals and do the opposite. So that's really cool. And then the last pillar is helping support the body's natural detoxification process. So our body is detoxifying all the time, and especially does so more so when you get it out of its stressed state, which obviously the previous products will help with. There's a product specific to help with this, and that's called the Cleanse for Life. So you combine using this product with intermittent fasting. And I'm sure you guys have heard of intermittent fasting before. It's got its own benefits, and it's just not up for debate anymore how beneficial intermittent fasting is. So what this does is help nutritionally support you through that. So it nourishes your body while it's detoxifying, and it's full of, I'm just going to look at the chat. Oh yes, Mandy smashing a double cleanse today with Brooke. Love it. So you can do 2 cleanse days in a row, doubles. I remember it wasn't that long ago where Hunty did his first double after using the system for a good couple of years and smashed it. So yeah, you can do 2 days in a row, and I recommend people definitely trying to do that. And it's just mind over matter with that stuff. If you think it's going to be hard, it's probably going to be hard. If you think it's going to be easy, then it's probably going to be easy. But the benefits of it are just phenomenal. and I'll touch on some of the research that they've done around comparing using the Isagenix Cleanse for Life versus just normal fasting as well. So all natural, no nasties, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. And the thing with the Isagenix system is the results speak for themselves. So what we're going to hear, hopefully that gives you a nice understanding of how the system works. So now what we're going to do is hear from a few people who have used the system and just hear a little bit about what it's done for them. So the first person I'm going to get to share is Mon.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, that's weird to see myself on the screen.
Yeah, I know. Tell us a bit about your experience with the system.
All right. So it's weird because in the beginning, so we started almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I was skeptic, like mostly 90% of it. So I didn't give it a really good chance, but Matt was doing it with a friend, and they had awesome results. And then I was like, okay. And so yeah, I started it a bit, but I love the business side of it. So that's a big thing for me. Like since I started with Isagenix, my self-development, that I never did self-development. So I'm going to be honest about that. And now it's like, I'm reading all these books. I know exactly what network marketing means. I'm proud to be a network marketer. Everything it already taught me because of Isagenix and just my whole journey about it. That's already a big plus for me. And then when I started a program, I noticed, when you notice things that you actually don't notice things that aren't there anymore. So I was always bloated and I was always at issue with digesting. And then suddenly after a month, I noticed that it wasn't there anymore. I was like, okay, that's weird. And my sleep, I was a really bad sleeper. I sleep really good now. And actually lately, I'm doing the cleanses way better than I did last year. And that just was, I think that was just really good for me to see how actually cleanses work nowadays with my body and also with Ionix. So my two favorite products are now Ionix and Cleanse. And of course I love the dairy-free chocolate. That's my ultimate thing on a day that I can eat. And it's really what the product actually does for you. And yeah, definitely maintenance. And now I'm on a new fitness diet plan and a training schedule, a new one. And what Isagenix does and what especially the cleanse does is just, like as you see the beginning of March in that photo, and after 20 days, that was the difference already. And like, now I just want to make photos of myself at the end of April, see where I'm at now.
Love it. Love it. Awesome.
So yeah, I'm really positive about a lot of things.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Nice. Thank you.
All right, Gemma. I'll just mute. Where we go? Gemma, unmute you. Where are you? Oh, you're good to go.
Yeah.
6 kgs.
You spelled my surname wrong.
I know. I nearly called you Umbridge.
That's okay. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I was under pressure getting this.
Yeah, so about 4 years ago, I was working in a fly-in, fly-out position, really long hours. I was studying to be a PT, so I was, extra hours as well studying. Had really low energy. I wasn't really motivated to get to the gym, so I was kind of dragging myself there, wasn't seeing the results. My best friend introduced me to Isagenix and just said, you've got to try these products. There's a 30-day money back, see how you go. So I tried them for the energy side of it and just to motivate me to get to the gym. And within my first week, I noticed a huge difference in my energy. And I was sleeping better as well, which I didn't, like Tully, I didn't realise I would have more sleep. And I managed to strip body fat, and my body fat has been 14% for the last 4 years. So I've been able to maintain that. And also, I actually started the program when I was 48 kilos, but I didn't have a photo. So this one, 50 kilos, I've been able to put on 8 kilos. And that's something that I've been struggling with like my whole life. Like I'm not able to like eat, 6 to 8 meals a day at a time, and I cannot be bothered. So the shakes are super, super convenient for that as well. And perfect example of someone not just jumping on board for, weight loss side of things. And again, I don't know who wrote that, but throw away the scales. Like numbers mean nothing. It's how you look and feel. And I've gone on to share this program with a lot of friends, family, clients, and it's so incredible watching people's journey and, bringing them along the ride with you as well. It's very exciting.
Yeah, love it. Thanks, Jem. Love your work. All right. And then the last one we're going to hear from is Mama Mojo herself, Mandy Shanko.
Thanks, Tal.
Hey, man.
So before I started using this system, I was very much that typical yo-yo dieter, mother of 2 teenage girls who were quite evidently seeing my pattern, and it clearly was impacting them in ways that I sort of didn't really, thanks, Jem, I didn't really know until I got myself to a point of where I stopped those patterns. So, it was definitely on the wrong track with my nutrition and was very burnt out. To say completely stressed out is a very big understatement. And I wasn't sleeping at night purely because of those issues. I also suffered a fair bit of digestive discomfort. So my bloating and my gut issues were sort of worsening. I literally was probably on the lookout for something new when this came into my world. I was on the lookout again, and a gorgeous friend of mine was running past my house. She looked vibrant. She looked like she'd had some changes go on. So I messaged her, got on board, wasn't that skeptic at all. I was all in. And I had some incredible results, and that was obviously 3 years ago now. So I no longer suffer any of that digestive discomfort. I'm very much on track of all of that, and I've got a good association with food and my nutrition now. So I'm completely more balanced, I'm happier, I'm healthier, I'm 44, and I feel better than I did in my 30s. So I love that the ripple effect of this as a mum has now shown my girls that there's another way of actually of how you look at your body, and it isn't all just physical. It has to be about how you feel inside and feeling balanced. So I love this, and I love that we've got something that can actually impact on a massive scale with health. So and thanks, darling. So I'm super excited to continue on this journey.
Love it. Thanks, mans. And you're smashing it at the gym as well, and putting all the young girls, giving them a well and truly smashing the PVs and stuff. So it's awesome to see. Cool. All right. So obviously there are a few pretty inspiring stories, and it's like when you hear the nitty-gritty behind the scenes of, that's what really gets me with this stuff, is the stuff people are struggling with that doesn't get talked about. Like people don't often go around talking about how bloated they are and how much sleep they're not having and all that kind of stuff. But the fact is there are a lot of people that are behind the scenes that are struggling. So to have a solution for that it's just such a gift. So, it's not just the stories. Isagenix also has the science. So they've got 6 peer-reviewed journal articles. And I'm just going to touch on one of them here, because I had a healthy level of skepticism when I started. I was a health professional, so I came from that science background. And so when I started seeing sort of the results, I was like, yeah, well, is it just the fasting? Like, does the Cleanse for Life do anything? Or is it just because we're fasting while we do it? And that's why we get all the results. So this study actually compared the heart healthy diet and included 1 day of fasting a week to the Isagenix system. So even though there was still fasting in the control group, Isagenix still had 56% more weight loss. And that was the purpose in this study group, was looking at weight loss. But the big thing was 47% more fat loss and twice as much visceral fat, which is the nasty fat. That's the fat that's going to kill you, the fat around your organs. So the fact that they lost twice as much of that is huge, is massive, because you can lose. And I think that another important thing with this study is the oxidative stress that the body was under went down. Whereas most of the time, if you have somebody lose weight by just restricting calories and upping exercise, which you can do, that'll make people lose weight if you calorie restrict and up exercise, their body will actually be under more stress, even though they're losing weight. So the fact that the body's under less stress while it's losing all this weight is it's a big thing, because it makes it sustainable. So other than the product system, what I love about Isagenix is the vision. And this really got me as a healthcare professional. I was a bit skeptical about it all at first, but once I actually got it, it really landed with me. Like I touched on before, I've been able to impact over 5,000 people directly or indirectly with this. So the fact that they've got a vision to free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world, is massive. Because like we touched on before, stress and cortisol impacts wellbeing just as much as anything else. And 81% of Australians cite that either financial or workplace issues are the primary cause of stress. So if you're putting all organic stuff in your body and you're taking care of your health, but you are financially stressed out of your head, or you're in a soul-sucking job that you hate, you are not going to be well holistically. So the fact that we have something that can not only help people from a physical standpoint, but the fact that we can provide an option for people to start to create some breathing room in their life is amazing. And I think it's with network marketing. It's becoming more and more common these days because people are starting to see it for the business model that it is. But what really excites me about this is, yeah, if people go on and earn multiple 6 figures and 7 figures and all this stuff, like the possibilities are endless with network marketing. But what's really cool is to be able to help the average person earn an extra $300 to $500 a week and just create that buffer so they can take a breath out, they can have some more family time, they can go on that extra holiday. Like, that to me is the magic in this. And then for those that choose to commit to it and treat it like a profession and work hard, it's limitless. So we're going to hear from my main man, Rhys Hunt, about his experience with the business side of network marketing with Isagenix and what it's done for his lifestyle. So Hunty, take it away, mate.
Thanks, Tully. Thanks for presenting tonight. It's really good. So my story started almost 4 years ago. I'd done the typical path we're all taught, was to go to university, get a degree, get a good paying job, and that led me to end up in the mines, so the mining in Western Australia. So I was flying up there doing stints of work. It was really good money, making very good money. And you'd think all would be well, but it was probably the lowest, most unhappiest point of my life. I was very unfulfilled, and I was looking at people around me that were older than me that had gone down that path, and I just knew that wasn't for me. It wasn't enough for my life. So I was always looking for a way out of it. I didn't know what to do. It was hard to go back to working in the city life because it's such low money and you're sort of stuck in an office. You get a couple of weeks off a year, and my highest value was freedom. So that was never going to suit as well. So it was kind of a tough few years there where I was stuck in what I was doing. And I had the Isagenix products, but I didn't really understand network marketing. The guy who introduced me, Rory, never really sort of touched on it too much with me. And it wasn't until we were on a holiday in Java together and we'd done a cool surf trip, and I was going back to the mines to go back to work. And I said to Rory, what are you doing now? What's your plan? And he's like, I'm going to keep traveling. I'm not going back to work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he told me, he's like, I'm doing that network marketing thing that I told you about. I've been trying to tell you about it. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what is this thing? So I went home, I did my study. I went to an event called Celebration, which happens once a year. And you guys should definitely go to it. And it just changed my whole perspective, and it was new possibilities. So fast forward 3.5, 4 years, we've been able to leave full-time work. Me and Rachel, my girlfriend, we work super casual, and it's just, we're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, but you don't need to make a lot of money to create a really good lifestyle for yourself. You only really need to replace the wage that you're on, and anything above that is a bonus. So, just to work a couple of days a week and then be home doing this, something that we're passionate about, something that we love the rest of the time, is just insane. Like, it's a totally different lifestyle. It's just onwards and upwards from here. So I was definitely someone who was skeptical about network marketing at the start. I didn't understand it. So, really do your study, get around the people. As you can see, you've listened to some awesome people tonight. They're all good people. So good people don't do bad things. So it's an awesome industry to be in. So, that's my story.
Love it. Thanks, dude. Epic. And it just reinforces, like you say, like, imagine if you could do enough to just get 1 or 2 days a week back. It's like those little wins along the way, while you're building that complete freedom. Like, that's the gold. Man, thanks for sharing. Sweet. All right, guys, nearly time to wrap it up. So just quickly, how to get started. There are a number of different packs that you can get started on. So there's a couple of packs here. The ultimate pack, which is if you're just ready to dive in, try a bit of everything and really set yourself up for the best results. And then there's healthy living pack or the weight maintenance pack. Like, these are just suggestions, and most people get started because the first 30 days is like that reset. So that's a real investment for yourself. And then you look at lifestyle maintenance as you go along. Like, not everybody uses everything on an ongoing basis, but you really want to give yourself your best chance at getting that reset in your first 30 days. So there's a pack to suit all goals and all budgets. So just chat to the person who's either sent you this link or has got you on tonight. And then the basics of the referral system is basically, Isagenix don't have an advertising budget. So the money that they would spend on advertising, they redirect that to the people who share the products. So if you get started with a couple of friends, you can earn up to $370 just for getting started with 2 people. So if you've got friends or family that that need help, there's some upfront rebate money straight away. And then that flows on as well. So again, if you want to learn more about that, just chat to the person who sent you this or who's got you on tonight. And there's a quick video that runs through it all. But definitely you're going to get better results if you do it with other people as well. So I always recommend it. And just to know that that's there, so that cost isn't a barrier for you to having your healthiest self. When I was working as a physio, the biggest reason people didn't do a treatment plan that they needed was not enough time or not enough money. So the fact that this is available for you means that you don't have to sacrifice your well-being if you're willing to help other people and pay it forward. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm just finishing up with a quote because I love quotes. But if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. So basically, if this feels like it's the right next step for you, you don't need to know every single step along the way. I didn't. I was like, okay, this sounds pretty good to me. I'm going to put the products in my body. There's a money back guarantee, and I'll see how I go. Take the next step. Go to an event. Take the next step. Meet some people. Take the next step. So if it feels like it's the right next step for you, take it. And then, we'll see you in the team page soon. All right, I'm going to wrap that up.
Thanks, Tully.
No worries,
mate.
That was so good. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Tal.
Thanks for sharing, guys.